I didn't think I was gonna marry your mother, man. So I ran all her credit up.
Welcome to the House of Time. I am Nick of Time.
And I am G-Time.
Oh, this is the podcast. This is the More Time Podcast on the House of Time. With the House of Time. We get more time with the Moors and more time with the times. Today, I decided to put on my Hickam Air Force Base shirt when I was born. So we're going to talk about moving. Where was the first place you ever moved to after being born?
Well, I was originally from Rochester, New York. And from there, I went to Pennsylvania, a small place called Pottstown, Pennsylvania, which is the academy that I went to, a little boarding school called Pine Forge Academy. That was when I was like in 11th, 12th grade.
You drove there, or they dropped you off?
They dropped me off. They drove. Now, we weren't allowed to have cars there. Not at all. That was the first place that I went to.
Where's the first place that you wanted to move, like chose to move to?
That was Alaska. That was when I joined the military. I chose to go to Alaska. When it came up on my orders, it said AK, and it was like, man, you going to Arkansas, man. I was like, man, Arkansas? I don't want to go to Arkansas. And then somebody's like, no, man, that's not Arkansas. That AK is Anchorage, Alaska. I was like, oh, shoot. I was like, cool. I like snow and everything. At the time, I liked it. So I said, yeah, let me just go ahead and move to Alaska. That's the first place. And ever since then, up until late, I've always chose where I wanted to go. And, growing up, I always liked moving myself, going different places, seeing different things. So I wanted to instill that in the family as well.
That's what he likes to say.
So I like for y'all to move around and see a bunch of different places and stuff. I never want y'all to get stuck in one place unless that's what you wanted to do. Because, once I joined, really, this is the longest I've been somewhere, is right where I'm at right now. Because once I left Rochester, I moved to Pennsylvania. I was there for 2 years. And then I went down to Alabama, Huntsville. Why do people say that? They don't say Huntsville or Louisville. They say Huntsville. Oh, you down there, Huntsville? Louisville, Huntsville. I don't understand that. It's such a saying Louisville.
I think you just talk to a lot of Southern people.
That's probably what it is.
I don't think I hear that too often.
Huntsville.
But I can't hear it though. Like talk to like a Louisiana person.
And they do the same way. They say, yeah, man, I have to do it. They like add something to it or something. You know what I'm talking about? Next time somebody do it, I'm gonna bring it up, let you check it out. They say something funny, like over to it. I can't even. It's weird, but yeah. 2 years, came down to Huntsville for 2 years. And then I left there, went back home to Rochester. I was there for a couple months, and then I went out to California. I was there probably about 6 months. And I knew I had to do something then because crazy times out there in California, man. Here I am with a cherry red car out there in California, IA. At the time it was like the home for the Crips and Bloods, and here I am in a red joint. Didn't even know what I was doing. I had New York plates on it. That's only saving grace that saved me. I went through McDonald's one time, Sacramento. Mm-hmm. Well, so I'm safe up north, California. Go through McDonald's. I'll pull in, a couple years younger than you are now, and order my food. And I'm sitting there waiting, and then these dudes come walking out. They always had a little funny walk. I don't know why they walk like they crippled. They walk out there, yo, cuz, what are you doing there, man? What that?
And it's funny, I have trouble impersonating that too. I can never impersonate it. It's so weird.
Yeah, and and they were young. I was like 21, 22 at the time. They're like 16, 17. So to me, I'm like, these young boys. And they look and they say, yo, man, you know where you at, cuz? You can't be over here with this, that, that. And they just saying all this stuff. I don't know what they talking about. You know, at the time, I'm bumping EPMD and all my East Coast hip hop, you know. What that you banging? What that you banging? I don't know what the dude was saying, man. So then the one dude comes to the side window. The other guy goes to the front of the car. And when he goes to the front of the car, he's like, yo, cuz, he ain't from around here. He ain't from, yo, you from New York? You from New York? I was like, yeah, man, I'm not from here, man. He said, my girlfriend out here and everything. And then he's like, yo, you don't get a pass this time. But I'm going to tell you, man, you're not supposed to be over in this part with that red car like that, man. This is Crip country and all that. Oh, whatever, man. Got my little food. It's funny, the whole time the dudes talking to me, they never came in the window. I just noticed that, you know, these people never came in the window. But then once they walked away, okay, sir, here's your food.
Check themselves.
Yeah, and looked around and closed that window back. And I drove off. But that's only, well, I did have another interaction with him later on, but that's the only interaction with that red car out there.
And it's weird, I never had any interaction with gang members. Not like, looking back, there are some kids in my high school that could have been gang members just because, like, you know, they were redded up or blued up, but like, that was never like a thing in my ethos. So like I never
in your what those
ethos, like just like what's around me.
Ethos. I'm gonna look that up.
I don't even know if that's the right word. It's just the word that me and Elijah use.
In my Doritos.
Characteristic spirit of a culture, era, or community.
What's ethos?
The characteristic spirit of a culture, era, or community as manifested in its beliefs or aspirations.
Well, we learned something here. Ethos.
Sounds like it works.
Ethos, ladies and gentlemen, not brought to you by Coca-Cola.
XP flavored.
And you said XP. What's the XP? Extra points?
Yeah, experience points. Which is weird. It's so many different things. Because like it's supposed to just be experience, but like it's not EP. They made it XP, which makes it experience points. Because it's like you can't just cut out the first word. Because that makes it not the word.
It has plus XP flavored. So what's that telling you, man? What they put crack in this? Little cocaine?
You know, like in video games, you like level up. It's XP flavored, so like it's your experience points flavored.
Well, I will say, for this to, God, pardon me, I can't see. They do say zero fat. What is sugar level at that?
24 grams.
Okay, that's never mind. That's what make it taste decent. The sugar up in there.
No. Kind of tastes like Coke to me, like a little.
It tastes sweeter though.
Yeah. Where would you move to if you had the money?
Oh man, if I were in the situation I am in today, and it's funny because this is what people do. You only imagine where you really want to go with places that you've already been. You never say, man, I want to move to Utah and never been there. You just wouldn't do it. Crazy enough, your sister did.
Yeah.
Typically, you don't do that though. So she made me out of lie when she did it, but out of the blue. And G, you know, going to LSU just out of the blue, never been there. But
some weirdos.
I would, if it was up to me, I would either go to Vegas. Vegas would be my first one. I would go move to Vegas because Vegas is total entertainment from the ages of 18 till you die.
Yeah,
it's entertaining. It's going to be always evolving. You're going to always have celebrities of all ages. You're going to have weirdos around there. But when you go off the strip, it's just like anywhere else. You don't even besides getting over the rocky areas and not that no grass, nothing like that, which is cool with me. I don't like grass anyway. But it's like regular. And to me, it feels like Florida. The people there act like the people of Florida in Vegas. Which is funny because Florida is a southern state, but it goes from Pennsylvania and then you get all these southern states and then Florida pops up, and they like back to normal people. Yes, I said normal. These Southern people, Huntsville. Anyway, I would go to Vegas and Hawaii. Those would be the places I would go to, because I really, really enjoyed those places. The reason why I chose to go to Hawaii is because my body's never felt that good. I had no pain while I was over there. The trade winds coming off the water, temperature was perfect year round. It wasn't too cold, wasn't too hot. At the time, that was the lightest I ever been since joining the military when I was in Hawaii.
That's the last I've been in 6 years
what,
since
now?
I graduated. Yeah, 239 right now.
239?
Yeah.
Yeah, stop smoking that crack, boy. Wither away. No, that's good stuff, man. But yeah, that's where I would move to. It'd be Las Vegas first, and then it'd be Hawaii.
I never thought about moving to Las Vegas till now, but that would be a nice place to like, the main reason I chose, or the main reason I'm like thinking about staying in Huntsville instead of like moving around, is because like it's much more fun to build up a place than to move around and see what other people are doing. So like that's why like I really wouldn't move from Huntsville, but like at the same time, it would be nice to like just go to Las Vegas and like change their greatness into more greatness as opposed to turning our nothing into something.
This dude kills me every time I talk to him, man. You like that ant in the rubber tree plant.
What does that mean?
High hopes. What makes that little old ant think he'll move that rubber tree plant? Everybody knows that an ant can't move a rubber tree plant, but he's got high. That's him, man. High hopes. But yeah, that's what Vegas be.
An actual song or a commercial?
No, it's a song, man. Frank Sinatra. High hopes. And
It's not hopes. It's just everything's so simple. Like all you got to do is do it.
but
And people don't got the ideas.
What I'm trying to get a point across. See, fathers, get your point across to your sons with what action. Put it that way. That's what I'm looking for. Action. I could say I want to change the school system around one school at a time because I'm an educator. I'm in there, but I can't say I'm going to make fast food the top of fast food in the world, and I'm not in it. So you're not in the position to make anything happen.
But you need a different perspective to ever do something better.
The
so
undoable.
Like, yes. So like, because I'm not in the school system is why I can say the school system is broken. I went through it. I got out of it. I've had my distance, and I could go back into it and see what it is now, and then I can speak my judgment. But like, just based on memory and what people have told me now, I'm not gonna change the schools easily because like schools are too focused on really just like
thing, man.
numbers. Like if we could like focus on like getting kids to be creative in everything, really, like, cause like there's kids who like go deep into history and like will be like full on history buffs and like they'll never complain about like studying history, but like the second you get them in science class, they don't want to learn nothing. And you could create like everybody would be a genius instead of just like having select kids who just like happen to have big brains and just happen to fill everything.
That's why you need to listen to your kids sometimes, because see that he has a point there, you know, because they do have a section off where either you're smart or you're not. That's one thing I started doing with PE, where you know they said, oh, all these kids got to get to doing, you know, like if we playing kickball per se, they want everybody to play kickball. There's just some kids that's not athletic, that don't have no mobility, no agility. They're just kids like that, but they can sit there and give you the diagram of how the base is supposed to be and how far the bases are apart and who's on what team and the keeper points. So in every sport you got managers and coaches, but they don't never build that. It's like you got to be a player first, or then you just go out. I think I'm gonna start coaching, but you never see them building coaches in high school. Either you're a player, and even if you come to be what's it called, a manager, like somebody that's not old enough.
Yeah, like no one's like teaching you to do that. You're just experimenting.
You just with the team doing water. Half the time you ain't paying no attention. You looking around for them. They out playing with themselves out in the field somewhere. But so that's what I try to incorporate when I do things. Say, hey man, okay, I know you're not good at kicking the ball, but I know you're good at keeping record. So go ahead and take this pad, write down this and this and this. They get into it. So then when they get older, they be like, yeah, I think I want to coach baseball when I get older. Never having to play, but because you studied it through high school and everything, you know the rules and everything, you're good to go. Everybody think you got to play the sport to be able to coach the sport or be around the sport and everything. But if you made a good point.
You know what you know.
You made a good point with that. You know, don't want to get too much in education though. We'll talk about it a little later. We're talking about moving. That's what this segment's about.
If you could change anything about the school system here to make it more tolerable, what would you change?
Now, a lot of people are going to probably be mad at me for saying this, but I was saying we have to go back to I gotta choose my words wisely. We gotta go back to
corporal punishment,
non-inclusion schools. Let's put it that way. Non-inclusion schools. I think we need to go back to like-minded people need to be together more, and if they're if the ones that don't, like you have like special ed kids, if they could do what
I just thought about. Sorry for cutting you off. There's no like socials anymore. Like there's no like high school, middle school social, like cross school. Like you only know your school, and it's not like people, like it's not like they don't like inspire you to know anybody outside of like your circle.
That's true.
That was random, but continue.
But yeah, so that's what I would say, man. I would just say we need to separate the schools back the way it was. Not saying segregation, but there's just some kids, like if they're ADHD very bad, it can't sit still, but you telling the class to sit still, you got this one kid running around, then you got to explain to half of the kids why they running around and why it's okay for them to run around and then the kids are cool with it and everything, but then again, it puts in their mind that this dude is different from us anyways. So that inclusion not really inclusive because they still separating, oh, that's Willie. Willie gonna run around because that's what Willie do. But it ain't like Willie, I mean, they'll still be nice to Willie and some of them gonna pick on him because that's just what kids do. But yeah.
Never we talk about moving, but since we're talking about schools, what I would do is like, I would make schools based on like what the kids actually wanted to do, and like you pretty much just go there to like build yourself as what you want to do. Like if you want to be if you want to be a YouTuber, like you could go to the film school and like learn editing, and you just go there and like there'll be like different people. I don't know, they might have like a set staff, and then they might have like guests come in and speak. Like pretty much you just go in and learn like. Go to the different professors and like build your own projects until like you're at a point where like, you can produce stuff at the rate you want to produce at, as opposed to like being forced to learn random stuff and then getting a job and then learning what they want you to learn and then getting the money and then learning what you want to learn. It's just a real weird process we got going on.
Yeah, you're right about that because yeah, education system is kind of crazy, man, how they do these things nowadays. But
you know what were you about to say?
I was going to say, we're going to have a podcast on education. We'll do that one next, seeing that we got a lot to say about it. But what were you going to say?
I was going to say, the reason I want to move to Hawaii is the same reason I want to move to California. They're pretty much death traps. Don't know when, don't know where, but all it takes is one big tsunami and both those places are gone. Or one big earthquake, rather. The earthquake would bring the tsunami, break off California, Hawaii would get washed, or the rich people might laser beam you. It's risky.
I'll go with the laser beam. That's more plausible than breaking off in the ocean or getting washed away by a typhoon or something. But yeah, that does make it scary because one time when we were in Hawaii, they got locked down. And man, it was like 2020 without the pandemic, but it was 2020 where everybody was running to them stores, buying up everything because the containers stopped coming in. And so they get all these stuff shipped over there by boat. Yeah. So when all the docks were shut down.
You know one interesting thing I learned about Hawaii? Continue. I'll remember it. But you continue.
No, I'll just say we just got shut down. It was like that for about 3 weeks. And that was a scary thing because it's like, yeah, y'all ration y'all foods, we don't know when they're going to open it back up. So that's kind of like a scary thing right there, That's one way to ice out an island, man. Just cut their food supply off.
But an interesting thing about Hawaii, one thing they did to keep the Hawaiian natives under control is made it illegal to have fruit-bearing trees in the cities. So, like, you can't fall, like, I think they're not, like, allowed to farm or anything. Well, I don't know if they're allowed to farm, but, like, it used to be a place where you could just like walk and grab fruit off trees and just eat. You could survive, but like they made it so you can't do that. So like you have to get external stuff. Like Hawaii, they made it so Hawaii couldn't just be themselves. They needed,
yeah, they came over and took over.
And they do that everywhere. It's sad.
Yeah,
it's weird that people fall for it. I mean, it's weird. It's nice because like people are moving back towards like everybody being their own self-sufficiency. Like if you look on YouTube, like there's so many people who are like doing like rain catching systems and solar panels, all sorts of stuff, farming, chicken raising.
I can see him doing that kind of stuff.
I would. You don't like animals, so why don't you like animals?
I grew up around no animals. I grew up around not really having grass to cut. It was more snow. So that's why I didn't like grass. When I moved out to California, I hated all that grass out there. Even today, I have the grass down here. If I would, I'd just put cement all the way around the house. I just have a big parking lot all the way around my house, and I'd be fine with it. Snow was cool because I always would treat snow as, exercise. And I know people say, well, you can do it with a lawnmower. With a shovel, that's all you're doing, and you're done. Lawnmower, you gotta prime it, put the oil in, put the gas in, pump the burn. You gotta clean it off. Oh, the stuff, too much, man. That's now you talking about too much. That's too much. Keeping up with all that stuff.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't want a lawn. I would do a farm. Like,
cause like goats?
No, like just like because it's just dirt and like the plants you want to be there, what are there, and like stuff that just extra grows, you just go and pull it up, as opposed to like just a bunch of grass that you don't care about and you gotta cut every 2 weeks. And then get rid of, that's annoying.
Yeah, that's the one thing that always get me, man. They keep saying, oh, these weeds are bad. Grass is weed. It's just the acceptable weed. But it's all weeds. But they just, I only thought there was one type of grass when I was growing up north. Until I came down here, and then I said, oh yeah, you got the ficus, you got the Bermuda, you got this. Like the Bermuda is supposed to, Bermuda is like the roughest weed to me because you could put a patch of Bermuda grass anywhere.
We need to ask Gianna what that grass was at her college at LSU.
It's the third time you
this because we were talking about grass. I would have forgot about it. I had to bring it up, but that's some of the softest grass I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, that's because of the swamp area down there, man. It's all swampy, so that soil is always moist there. That's why it's so soft, and that's why this grass so hard because it's clay and red clay and red dirt. But that Bermuda grass, if you took the Bermuda grass, you took it there, lay it there, it'll take over all that grass. And that's what's crazy about it. When they get to the cold months, it'll turn brown. You ain't gotta cut it no more. It'll all stay the same length. And then when the summer comes, boom, it turns green and start growing like crazy again. That's the real weed. Talking about some weed.
I don't think grass is ever meant to be. Well, maybe in like grasslands. I wonder what the grasslands like look like back in the. Well, I don't know because like I heard like just on TikTok that grasslands weren't like grass like what we know is like tall grass like taller than us. So like you could like actually hide in the grasses like wheat fields type grasses like different varieties, not just one type forever.
But grass will have to be real close together to grow that high. It have to be pretty thick.
Yeah, because they have to support each other.
Because they just keep leaning, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
it'd be long, but it'd be all laid down, you know. That's sort of like, you know, with trees, which is funny about trees. You always see how they all nice and shape all the time. Even the tall trees, they never trim, but it's the weak parts just break off, and when it gets to thicker part, it always look like it's nice and round and everything. But that's when I moved, you know, I moved to Vegas and Hawaii. You know, that's one of the reasons why I put Vegas before Hawaii, is because of that. You know, you can't drive to it, so you can't drive out of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But what would you move to if you?
Honestly, since you bring it up, probably Las Vegas.
He won't be like me. Now he won't be like me.
Well, while I was, you know, thinking about my life plans, I realized that like Alabama is technically one of the best places in the world if you wanted to like build something like geographically. Like, you know, we got mountains, we got, you know, water's close enough, we got lots of fresh water, got plenty of trees, lots of biomass. As opposed to Las Vegas, just barely any biomass. It's just people and creativity. If you just combine the two, like if we brought Las Vegas creativity to Huntsville and there's just stuff to do here, that'd be amazing. Or if, you know, Las Vegas was more biomass and like more... Because like the thing about like there being no biomass is there's less things that can happen. And more things that can happen
biomass.
Huh?
I said you like saying biomass.
I do. It's kind of fun to say. But like, because I really just mean all living things. It's like living things make things happen. So if there's no living things there, only a few things can happen. And yeah, I feel like more stuff, we can make more stuff happen in Huntsville as opposed to, or Alabama. I mean, it sucks that Alabama, you know, got Alabama-fied before it could ever be anything else.
Alabama-fied.
Because like, it could have been anything. Honestly, I wonder what will happen once we get rid of KIV. I feel like the next person, because like, it might just be me, but like, I feel like people are getting smart enough to the point where like, we're not just gonna be like, put another person, like KIV, she's been in there forever, so like, she has like enough support where like she could stay in. But I feel like once she's out, the next person's not just gonna be like someone like her, it's gonna be someone who's actually doing stuff. At least I hope.
Yeah, we shall see. She's still like she got a good 15 years left in her. Yeah. It's like that lady that died. I know that lady that just died, and she's like 90 years old. She's in the office. They said they had to wheel her in just to do her votes and stuff. Didn't even know. I mean, why would you have somebody? I ain't getting it. That's why I don't do politics, man. Even when I was in the military, I never watched the news or anything. Just tell me what you want me to do and everything, and I didn't went about my business because I don't want to get into all that either. Too. Back to moving.
I'll probably move to Japan.
Japan is a very nice place. That's, you know, I gotta get over there again. Over there,
we're planning a trip with Brown and Gianna next summer. Yeah, but yeah.
The funny thing is, Asia, in general, you go anywhere over there. I've been to a few places in Asia. The technology is crazy, and we think we see all this. Oh. I remember back in the day when I was in Korea back in the 90s, Samsung was the cheapest stuff out there. Nobody would touch it. I should have bought stock then. Nobody would touch Samsung. But over there, they had Samsung. They had DVDs over there before we had them over here. They had video CDs over there before we had them over here.
You know what I think it was? I think they actually have more of a system that I was thinking about. Like, you actually build yourself up in an aspect while you're young. You don't just like learn everything. Right. So like you get more of these people who are more creative, can like just create whatever and like put it out, as opposed to like America, we all learn the same stuff, and like you might get these people every once in a while that can create something, but
in America want money. I mean, that's why half the stuff, man, the cars over there are so crazy and all the stuff they had inside. And then when they get over here, people say, oh man, look at this, we got heated seats. I'm like, they had heated seats over there 20 years ago. We just now getting in thinking this, we got air in it. It's just because that tariff, man, they want to tax everything to come over here, and if they don't want to tax it, they just keep it. I mean, China controls so much stuff over here. That's why people say, man, just cut them off. You can't cut China off. We're cutting our own nose off of our own faces. Because they own a bunch of stuff that you read. Google it. You don't believe me? Google what American companies are affiliated with China, and you will see more than you believe have China affiliates to it, man. And then they'll sit a base in China, but then they have a local base like in California. Everybody think, oh, it's out there in California. Now look where that California got an answer to. It's somewhere in China. You know, Taiwan, Hong Kong, all that stuff. It goes on in Shanghai.
I really wonder what their MO is. Because, like, if it's what, America and the internet would have us believe, like, they're evil and trying to take over the world. But, like, me personally, I don't believe anybody's actually evil because, like, it never works. Like, they're going to get assassinated and the world's going to go into chaos again. Like, the only way the world will work is everyone just leaves everyone alone. So, like, being that, like, they're much wiser than America. Like, they got Buddhism. They're not Christians. They don't make things because they are, like the book says. They do things that make sense. It's like, it makes me wonder, like, are they doing things because, like, they're trying to make the world peace, or are they really just trying to, like, sneak everything, like, just trying to beat America at its own game? Like, America's evil. I'll tell you that straight out.
Yeah, they are, man. Evil. We evil, man.
I'm just wondering if they're counter evil, like if they're only evil because we're evil, or if, like, they're actually evil.
That's a good question too. That's a very good question. And I would tell you, when we're talking about moving, the least favorite place I would never live. Well, I would have said Alabama, but I'm here now. But really, there's not. I would say I would never live in Florida. Mm-hmm. I would never live in Florida, and not why, particularly for what most of y'all think. I want to live in Florida, man, because I'm not a reptilian type of guy. So they got all the alligators, and I don't mind being somewhere in the bears in your hot tub or something like that. But coming out there and seeing an alligator come out, that's totally different. You got your baby come outside. It's funny,
you can handle alligator, you can't handle a bear. So it's weird that you have that fear.
Yeah, I mean, I think the bigger it is, the less fear I have. The smaller it is, because, how they say, snake in the grass, because you can't see them coming.
Yeah.
So it kind of like, even if you're not, people that's not scared of snakes still get startled by them all the time when they run up on them and not expecting them. Yeah. Oh, man, look at that snake right there. Then they'll go, but the other people that scared them, like, oh, take off. But everybody's startled. You may come walk around the corner like, look at that big old bear down there. But you'll never go around like, oh, look at that snake snuck up on you. You're going to always jump. Even if it's just a snake grass. It's, a grass snake. It ain't going to, man. But anyway, I would never live in Florida because of that. And, it's just, the people don't really, I care less about the people, but it's just, like when the levees broke, man, and all that stuff went down there, and it's like, Anaconda City down there, man. That's like the closest to a safari jungle is Florida to me. That's why I'll never go.
Man, it's basically like the Amazon in America. What country would you not want to move to?
A country I would not want to move to would be America. No, a country I wouldn't want to move to would probably be, believe it or not, would probably be Africa. I wouldn't want to move to Africa for the simple fact is, Africa, depending on where you go, is not what people think it is. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's jungle and people with bones and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, it's all Americanized and everything too, but you get over there and realize it's just like America, but you just don't got the liberties. You're like, man, I should have stayed where I was at. I personally know two people. One I know, and the second one, my parents knew, talking about, who said, man, I had enough of America. Sold all their stuff, cashed in their 401k, because they said, man, you can live like a king with $20,000, man, in Africa. Took everything and moved to Africa. 3 months later, they're right back in America. Hey, you got any job openings? You got to come in. Because they said it wasn't what they thought when they got over there. They said exactly the same thing. They just didn't have the liberties. But it was just like America over there with fewer liberties. And The separation between white and black was worse over there than it was here, and and so that didn't work. So I wouldn't want to go there. So I would, if I had a country to move to, it would probably be Europe if I was gonna move to somewhere. And that, like I said, once you've been somewhere, you always tend to choose that over some other place. Yeah. But since I've been to Europe, I wouldn't mind living in some places in England. But England's the same way too. But
did you like France?
No, I didn't like France, not at all. Just because I managed some racist folks over there, and they try to be slick with it. I mean, you can hate me, no big deal. Don't try to be slick with it. Don't be grinning in my face and you cursing me out and you cussing me out. That's what happened when I liquored up a little bit. But when me and your mom was over there, and I think I already told you we was on a bus in Paris, France, somewhere around there, and we was on the bus and we was with this other couple who grew up there, and they was in the military, and we stationed in England together. So we decided to go with them because they could take us around and everything. And just to look at them, you'd think they were just regular white folk. But then we got on the bus, and hey, excuse me, anybody sitting here? Oh, okay, yeah, and they all talking, and they got to talking, calling us all kinds of, I want to say monkeys, but it was whatever they, the equivalent to a monkey over there that they was calling us. They black terms, derogatory terms, and the lady just went over and smoothing off on him. Why did I start speaking the language back to him? And he's like, man, what's going on? I say, maybe I get your wife, man. And he's like, so then when she came back, she's like, we getting off at the next stop. And got off. I was like, what happened? And she's like, they was over there, calling us names and stuff and wishing harm on us. Not like they were going to do it, but basically wishing like we hope they get robbed while they over here type stuff.
Yeah,
we don't need them over here. They kind of need to stay, that type of stuff. And so it was shocking to me. And I mean, if you don't speak the language, they smile in your face, dude. I hate that kind of bigotry. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'd rather you say, I hate your porch monkey, and I'd be like, hey, put it there, buddy.
I could have you react to the nicest racist man in the world, the most racist man. I think it's the most racist man in the world, but like he was also nice at the same time. Like, he was like a straightforward racist person.
Right, and that's my thing. If you know who you are, I'm cool with that because you ain't hiding it. And it's up to me to accept you the way I want, or just you shy away. But when it's always hurtful, man. When you think somebody's one way and then you find out they're different, you're like, dang, dude. It's almost like a relationship. You know what I'm saying? You had to cheat on me. You could have just left me. Why you? But yeah, so I wouldn't go to Paris, but England I would, because in England you can have places that you can find. They got little villages, and you can find those villages where they're pretty cool, and you really ain't gotta leave that village because everything you need is right there.
Yeah, I would like
restaurants,
a nice place like that. That's why I want to create like Huntsville. Like I want to. Like, it'd be hard because like you'd have to get everybody to agree to it, and like everybody would have to change their lifestyles. But like, it'd be nice to change Huntsville to like be like a kind of like part tech, part farming, where like it's more agricultural and like. And I'll talk about that later. It's a whole thing, but like I kind of do want the whole. I like how like the farming village you kind of like walk everywhere. Like everything's like everything's walking distance. If not, there's like a regular train or like something where you could get to other places. Whereas to like in America or here, you just gotta always drive.
Yeah. Especially in Huntsville, they ain't got that, hop on and go. I mean, even Atlanta, a lot of people say about transit systems, but really, when you go to different cities in the South that have public transportation, you still got to be in that area to get to public transportation.
Yeah, it's not like real, like, oh, I'm here, I have money, get me somewhere. It's like, oh, I need to learn how this works and get an app and make sure I paid for my ticket before I get in. Yeah. And they're never inviting. They always, it's always like, oh, you shouldn't get on this thing. Like, because it'd be one thing if it was like a New York train where it's like everybody's there and you just happen to see crazy people, but like in the South, like all the bus things, like all the crazy people are just at the bus.
That's
never
true.
just regular people there.
And that's because this podcast is not affiliated in any way with this Coca-Cola.
If we were, maybe I could have fixed some of this.
The Ultimate Limited Edition. Not sponsored by this channel.
The main thing I want to do is turn like university into like a high-speed train. That would be the nicest thing. It's like making all that walkable, like all that street, making that like walkable, like making like it like a long park, and like just having like a high-speed train through the middle. That'd be nice, as opposed to having to drive all the way down it all the time with all those cars
and money. See, you keep forgetting about money.
But it's not that expensive when you think about it. Like really, the design, like because like one, it's not too long, and like blocking the street, that would be the most expensive. We'll probably have to do like a raised thing as opposed to blocking off the street at like while we're building it. But, yeah.
You know, it's funny. This is off subject. I just thought about it when I moved my head. I gotta show you this scene, man, with this guy. You know, when you agree with some people say yes and then they say no, right? Mm-hmm. Well, there's a scene in this one show where a guy, he's like, what is it with what do they call it? What are people India? What do you call it? India with the red dot? They're called people from India. Where you would talk to them and you ask a question and they go, it's not a yes or a no. But it was funny because the white guy saw that. He was trying to talk to the lady. So the guy was like, you got to tell me, am I fired or do I have a job? And he was like, what does that mean? But this is funny, man. I got to show you that, man. I just thought about that. That was kind of random, but yeah.
Have you ever thought about living in the Midwest? Flyover states?
Not really. I've visited them and everything, but really there's nowhere really outside of Alabama. There's no other southern states I would want to live in. I don't even want to live in Georgia. I didn't even like it there.
It's really nothing. Like Atlanta's not even nice to be around. Like,
yeah,
if there's something like really cool you want to go to, like it's nice because it's the only thing in the area you could just go to. But like Atlanta's not a nice place you want to go and hang out with your friends.
And that's the funny thing, man, because people that like be in Baton Rouge or New Orleans or Atlanta, and that's where they born and bred.
Yeah, it's because they have that circle. But if you're not in that circle, that place does not feel like somewhere you want to be.
And when you go there, they always like, hey man, you gotta watch out, man. Like that's the only place in the world that's bad. You know what I'm saying? There's other places where that's bad. With the internet, every place is bad now. Yeah. You don't know who's from Chicago, who's from New York, and they could have been in Tennessee, grew up in Tennessee, but they watch all these internet stuff and picking up how the manners of all these people. You never know, picking up how they talk and walk. Back in the day, you knew somebody was from the South. You knew they was from, oh man, you must be from, you from Mississippi? You knew that. Nowadays, people get infatuated with Chicago, and they don't have the means to get out of Huntsville, but they just mimic that. So when people meet them, they be like, oh dude, you from Chicago? Nah, dog, I'm right over with that. It's crazy, man. So when I see people in Atlanta, they go traveling somewhere, you know, and be in a hotel room, they be like, oh man, locking up, they putting the door into it. Man, what you doing? Man, you know, you never know when people come. Come on, man. I mean, one thing with moving and growing up, this is one thing I realized is that I remember when I was younger, my parents used to always tell me about certain places in the city not to go to. And I'd be like, why? This is a dangerous part of the city. You don't need to go there. And we would go there and stuff. I just wouldn't tell them. And I'm like, what the heck are so scared of? Never thought about, repercussions of what they was talking about. But then when I got older, and then I go back home, those places that I used to go to, man, I'd be like, shoot, I ain't getting out the car over there now. because the time passed. You know what I'm saying? And then when I talked to your sister, and she was telling me, yeah, we was in the car, and these they had a shootout, and these cops came in, and I'm like, where were you at? And then she told me, I'm like, what you doing over there? Now, for me, even at this age, I'm like, man, I ain't gonna, I'll just stay away from that kind of stuff. But for y'all living with the moment, so you know how to navigate through it. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't bother y'all because you're like, I know if this happened, I'll just do this. Well, I'm more or less like, well, shoot, somebody come, I gotta shoot them. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going on.
That's the one thing stopping me from going to clubs. It's too much. Well, one, the stimulus, for me to have fun, I have to not be paying attention to stuff, and I can't do that when there's so much stuff going on. Mm-hmm. Well, I can, but nowadays you never know what will happen.
That's something else. But yeah, so I talked about moving and not moving in Midwest. Other than that, I would move in anywhere.
I want to move to Canada. They kind of scare me.
I would move to Canada. I would go there too. Toronto. I
would wait until they got
Niagara.
a new president or prime minister, whatever they got. It's they kind of. You ever heard? George Soros, rich guy, runs the World Economic Forum. Pretty much, he runs for. It might be conspiracy theories, but it seems like he runs Canada, and it's kind of like ultra, trying to control people, but in a friendly way. They seem how those truckers were protesting over taxes or something.
Yeah,
and they cut off bank accounts of people who were donating to them. If you just donated them, all your accounts got frozen. That's the type of country Canada is now. That's why I know America, also does sneaky stuff, but I don't know. Canada does more weird stuff.
Mm. Yeah,
at least in America, I'll just die.
Yeah.
Canada, they'll just shame you till you want to die.
So do you? I want to die. So do you think all the moving around I made y'all do, man? You think it was a positive thing or a negative thing?
I don't think anything's positive or negative. I personally think it's positive because I wouldn't be me if it wasn't for that. In a way, it could have been because in the sense of if I wanted to be an NFL star, probably negative because if you let me stay in Warner Robins or Warner Robins,
Loganville.
No, I don't think Loganville would have been good.
You don't think?
Not because
it's right down the road from UGA though.
Yeah, but I don't recall any of my Loganville friends doing anything in college or in high school. At least I don't remember them posting oh, my school did this. In Warner Robins, I see them posting oh, my school did this and this and winning championships and stuff. I think Veteran was the school we would have been going to, and I think they won state championship the year I left, or the year couple while I was gone.
Yeah,
it's in different aspects, and also building a community. I never got to build a community, so I never have friends that just long time hit them up whatever. So I was only there for too short, so it's kind of weird to hey, how you doing? It's it's weird because I don't know if other people feel that way because I feel attached to all my childhood friends, but to them because they had they stayed there and and they built out from there. I still have an attachment to them, but it feels like they don't, which I wonder if they do.
That's weird because it's the same thing with me. A lot of the friends I have that I went to high school with, and then went to that boarding school where I met your mama. Because when I got sent there, I really didn't want to go, so I never really acted out a lot. So I never got to be who I really was. I didn't know who I really was. So when I see those people today, they built a bond to the point where they're closer, and they're, hey, Gary, they touch on anything. But I sort of like how you said, I'm yeah, but I don't really think that we have a bond like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like when I left there, came down here, went to college, but it's like 15 years military and affiliated, man. I ain't speak to nobody. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like I reached out. Yeah. So I mean, is it really?
That's one thing that stopped me from reaching out to like my childhood friends, because like I used to reach out to them all the time, but like somewhere along the line, like I realized I never heard from, like they never reached out to me first. So like like none of my high school. Granted, like I haven't been posting. Like maybe if I like posted and like they saw me and like they'll think about me, but like me, like I'll like randomly think about it and then hit them up. But like other people don't do that. At least not the people I've had in my life.
Well, it's always been like that with y'all. Even with y'all and y'all cousins, man.
Yeah.
Y'all always reach out to y'all cousins, but they ain't never say, "Hey, can we come to Huntsville hang out with y'all?" But they always want y'all to go hang out. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. And now, you know, as you get older, man, you know, bonds start. You know you family, you know you cousins, but you're like, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, you get to the point where your parents get older, and maybe this will dawn on you when we get older and everything, and you might be like, okay, let me get to know them better. But I think our relationship, and you know, to the point where you'll be at peace with whatever happened, you know, versus the person that's crying on the casket because, oh, I didn't reach out like I wanted to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I try to afford y'all the opportunity to be around me and do things with me, so at least you can have this bond. So even though we did a lot of moving around and stuff, I could say we have a lot of memories of now versus, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we moved around, we didn't have that. The memories more or less just packing up and moving and watching videos. Oh yeah, I remember that. But outside of that, nah, I don't really have no bond. And the way my brain works now, man, I don't even remember. 2 years later, I don't forgot who I worked with, so I don't even remember the names. So it's hard for me to remember who I worked with in other states and stuff when I move on. So I'm like, why even try? Even on Facebook, you know, I might see him on Facebook, and I don't even say hi. I mean, we're just Facebook friends. You know what I'm saying? If I happen to open it up and I see it, and that's the first thing that pop up, I might do a little thumbs up. Or, hey man, congratulations, happy birthday, happy anniversary. But if it don't pop up right then, I generally don't. I'm not a scroller of Facebook. I'm more or less one that just put the stuff out there, make the videos, put it out there. And half the time, I don't even go back to the video to see if anybody made comments on it. I just put it out there. And that's mainly because of, you know,
Facebook's overcrowded now. It looks gross. I didn't realize it, but I went on Facebook just because I was writing my book. I was doing a chapter on social media. I'm like, I think 3 of the first 5 or 6 posts weren't some like posts that I wanted to be on my feed. Like they weren't someone to follow. I think there's like 2 or 3 ads, and then like a sponsored, like someone else's post that like it paid to be put on my page, or like someone the algorithm that put on my page. Like 5, like there's like 3 or 4 of 5 or 6 posts weren't something like I followed and I wanted to see an update of that person. It was just something the algorithm gave to me. That's why I don't like going on Facebook. I never realized that's why I didn't until the other day.
But yeah.
See, Instagram does it too, but they're better with it. They, you know, they get you with the reels and you just interesting stuff. Like Facebook, it's like just regular people doing stuff. It's like, what am I on here for? Random ads.
Yeah, so when it comes to moving, men, when you have children and sons, you gotta stay relevant. You know, one thing I wish I would have done along the way was took better notes at where the places we've been and stuff. You know, I got videos and pictures and stuff like that, but explore the area a little bit more. You know, we was in Hawaii for a good while, but we only went where we went. It's not like we actually, when somebody will come visit us, of course, they want to go see, so we'll go on and see, you know, the pineapple plantations and stuff like that. But when people left, we just went back to normal living. I mean, in Warner Robins, even though it was small, you know, they had Macon right up the road. I just went to work, came home. You know what I'm saying? We go to Church's Chicken, get a little 99-cent a piece chicken. We didn't really do nothing. We would go back to visit, again, like your cousins. They ain't never come down to visit us down there.
So it's your fault I didn't have a social life.
Yes, it was. But yeah, we had to go travel up to Atlanta area to see, family stuff. They never came down to see us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with that, that's the one thing I'll say my parents did. Every place I was stationed, they came to visit. Not the short term, but the long terms. And if I was there 2 or 3 years, they always came to visit, which made it good because they formed their memories coming there of me and stuff. And it's not like I had to go and explain to them, hey, y'all, I'm in Alaska and they got this and they got that. They came and they got to experience it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the one thing that, with all the moving around, getting a little bit of better financial place, then I want to take everybody back to where they were born. Not just like individually, but everybody. You know what I'm saying? So we all go to Alaska so you can see where your older sister was born. Yeah, I'll show y'all what I can remember of, things we used to do there. And then we all go to Hawaii. You see where you was born, and the pink elephant they used to call it. And then we'll all go to England. That kind of stuff.
There's a dude in Alaska. I don't know if his offer's still up, but like he has this huge plot of land that like has a bunch of like fossils from like older than what's supposed to be there, and like he has mammoth tusks that he finds every day. Like he has like thousands, like tens of thousands, just all mammoth tusks, saber-tooths, all those cool animals. It's all on his land, and like he said, anybody could come up there. But I'm sure you have to talk to him first. I wonder if like the offer still stands.
Sounds like the beginning of a horror movie to me. Go up there and then we get stuck and can't leave. Oh, by the way, here's your pick shovel. Here's a bag. Yeah, go.
I do want to experiment in the snow areas. I never got to live in snow.
See, now when I was younger, my body can't take it now. But when I was younger and I was in Alaska, oh man, I went out there. I didn't ice fish, but I saw how they ice fish. Been out there on the ice, and which is funny. I can ice skate, but I can't roller skate. Go figure. But used to love skiing, but don't water ski. That's probably because I can't swim. But whole time we was in Hawaii, man, never learned how to swim. Never learned how to swim. I ain't
at least learned how to surf.
Yeah, I know, right? I didn't even put my head underwater until we got out of the military in Georgia, in Loganville. That's the first time I put my head underwater. That's
where the military failed you.
Yes. Well, I was in the Air Force, so I ain't worried about the water.
Like, even if you weren't worried about the water, they should have made you like. They should make like as a military like you're owned by the government. Like they should make you have
nobody own me.
All basic skills. Say that to the anthrax shots.
Yeah, they should have.
Like y'all should have like all skills, like at least base level.
If they would have, I wouldn't have been in it. But that's the reason why I chose them, because I knew they said if you could hold on and do the obstacle course correctly, you'll never touch water. That's all I need to hear. And that obstacle course, man, I had my head all in that dude butt, man. On the ropes, climbing. Go, man, move. Yes, I ain't following this water. People was following the water. The monkey bars, they would go and fall in the water. They got to get back out, start over, and their hands are wet. So the bar's wet. So when I seen that, I realized, well, shoot, they like go in the middle. So I said, I'm gonna go on the outside of the bars because it was dry. Everybody tried to do the middle because you swing further. I just did the outside, went all the way across. Move, man, get out the way. I'm kicking the dude, get out the way. So I ain't never get no water, man. They threw that rope at me. You're supposed to get it and swing and then hop off. I jumped so high, man. I almost, you know how the higher you jump, you don't get that swing or shit. I jumped too high, so I almost pulled a back muscle trying to get my feet on the ground without falling. But I ain't getting no water, Jack. But yeah, so that was all the lovely places, moving around. I was thinking I was doing y'all some justice. Moving y'all all these different places, but I didn't follow through, and that's what y'all need to do. If you happen to move around a lot, make sure you
get the full experience of the area.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Take advantage of where you at, learn where you at. Make sure your kids learn it. So when you move on, the more they know, the more they're gonna remember later on. Because even though like you can't even say that you you could say that, yeah, I've been to Paris, but you don't remember nothing about it. Because when we went there, we just went to Legoland. Legoland in Paris.
That was Paris?
Yeah.
That was in England.
We had to go over there.
That's crazy.
Legoland.
I always knew we went to Legoland, but like it was such like a short memory.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because that's how we did. Because we were broke. So at the time, man, we just went there, use all the money to get there, ride as much as you can. And we got to go back to England so we can eat, because we can't afford no food over here. Food was nasty anyways, my type of at the time. So we did that. I mean, even in Hawaii, man, when we moved there, and I don't even know if you realized, probably not at the time, but, I was in the military right around 9/11, and we was on welfare. We had our WIC, and little WIC books you go in there.
Is that why you had a short fuse?
And I don't know. But I know that's why when we... I remember, our commander used to tell us, hey, man, y'all gonna go spend y'all WIC and all that stuff. Don't go in your military uniform. But I was real defiant. I'm like, well, y'all should pay us more money than if you don't want us to know, don't want people to know that we on WIC and do all this stuff and government assistance stuff, and we work for the government. How you work for the government and you on government assistance? Yeah. Go figure. But anyway, so we had jars of peanut butter, boxes of cornflakes.
That is weird. Y'all should have, and y'all were on base. That's weird. Y'all should
and we lived on base.
Y'all should have been completely handled.
So
one thing of like y'all are stubborn, like bought a house elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like granted, I guess y'all had credit cards, but like that was kind of after the fact, wasn't it? Not going into it.
Well, we're talking about going to the marriage.
Yeah,
we was broke when we got married. We were already in debt when we got married. I didn't think I was gonna marry your mother, man. So I ran all her credit up, and it backfired on me. I married her. She's like, "Okay, you can have it back now."
Y'all are some criminals.
So it kind of backfired. So we gotta
get Brian on the channel so we can talk about y'all's criminal days.
Yeah. We came in this thing with bad credit. I mean, when we got to England, it was the worst, man. That's when we had to do something then. At that point, we couldn't even really afford to be together anymore because, we had so much international credit, man, and his mama had the same name as her mama, so we was taking credit out in her mama name, blowing that up, and I mean, this is statute of limitations, folks. It's all dead and gone now. But yeah, so.
They catch you on the latest one.
I know. And most of that, we had to pay a lot of that stuff back, man. And it used to make me mad because I didn't even know half the stuff. We paid all that money back. Don't even know what we spent it on. You know what I'm saying? That's why I try to tell the kids, you get your kids, the credit straight, but you gotta explain to them about the finance charges, the late fees, and if you already got $300 on a credit card and you gotta make a minimum payment of $25, but only 12 of that goes to knock it down because you paying the other $13 or whatever to pay the finance charge. Don't go to Taco Bell and you thinking, oh, I only bought a couple of tacos. Yeah, those couple of tacos, you paid $30-$40 for them tacos because you got to pay it in order. You can't just say I'm gonna pay that back, but you still owe the rest of it. So you still financing some tacos that you done ate, doodled out, and is long gone. So when we first got credit, we didn't know about that. So as we moved around, we would just, whoever gave us money, Montgomery Ward, hey, give me that credit card. Spiegel was out. Man, I owed Columbia House so much money, man. That's how we got most of those DVDs and CDs and stuff, man, through Columbia House. It was VHSs back then. Just get all those VHS tapes. Yeah, get 25 VHS tapes for 1 penny. Give me 2 of them. I got 2 pennies. So I'm getting all of these things, man. Then they start sending the money. Okay, now you got to pay for it. But yeah, it was crazy, man. So moving around can be fun, but the right way to do it is to, like you were saying, experience your surroundings and make sure if you have children, you moving around, they learn something from there. That's my only mistake. I said I didn't make y'all really dig deep into where we was at. It was more or less, it was just a place.
Because I learned to integrate, but not learn to just be myself and like just branch out.
Yeah.
So I'm very good at just going somewhere and like, fusing with people and just, not causing a ruckus, but
yeah. But that's it, man, about moving. That's the things that we did, moving here and there. And I guess I was feeling bad for years about moving my son around and everything. And he tended to say it didn't, it did mess him up in some ways. But, I guess it ain't bothering him too much. He's still talking to me.
Maybe there's like when I think about like infinite universes, it's like maybe there's like a me out there who really did want to play football. He's just sitting there mad, like, dang, you really didn't let me play somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And just remember, this is not sponsored by the Ultimate Limited Edition Coca-Cola. This is pretty good, man. That plus XP flavored really hits the spot.
I don't know. Every time I drink sugar now, I get headaches.
You gotta drink sugar free, man.
I just don't drink sugar. That's why.
Oh.
Because I stopped drinking sugar. Now that I drink sugar, I get headaches. Maybe if I ease back into it, like it's been months since I just had sodas. Which is weird because I drink beer. Beer and water is pretty much all the things I drink.
Weird. Well, that is it for us. Unless you got something else, man.
I was gonna say, you ever think about how weird it is that we juice things that we could just eat?
That is true. That is true. Because you juice them and it goes real quick.
Yeah, and it's like you just throw away like, what's the point of that? You could just eat it, and the whole juice, the juice that you just drank, would have been in your belly, plus all the fiber and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's it from us. We're both rocking our Hickam, Hawaii Air Force Base shirts. Where Brandon was born and where I was stationed. Maybe one day, well, not maybe, we will. Like Yoda, there is no try. Either do or don't do. But we'll get over to Hawaii, man, and he'll get him to see where he was born. Instead of just bringing him back paraphernalia. Well, that's it, man. You want to take us out, man?
Abandon me, start adventuring the world.
You say what?
You heard me.
I didn't.
We'll talk about that next time. I'm Nick of Time.
And I am G-Time.
We'll see y'all, or rather y'all will see us next time.
Peace. How do you say that? Peace. We ain't gotta say no peace, man. Let's get out of here, man.
Where did you start that? I think I got that from you. I don't know where you got it from.
What, saying peace?
Yeah. Peace.
It was I think it was some rap. Oh, it was Eric B. and Rakim. Paid in full. And that was the last thing he said. Now I gotta play it now because I don't remember how it goes.